All right. Well, welcome back to the Patchbot. This is, I guess we can wave hello.
Hello. Aloha.
Aloha over here.
This is the first recording that we're actually doing in Hawaii.
And in person.
Yeah, and oh yeah, that's true, and in person, yeah. As we have been advertising in terms of like type of the guests we're going to be bringing in, sometimes it doesn't work out. It's okay. So we always have to have a backup plan. Those will still work out. We just still had a little bit of time to kill, so we thought we'd do some recording, and then do a Q&A that we couldn't finish last time. Well, we didn't even go through halfway through. Right?
No.
So, yeah,
Yep. I'm excited.
should be
Let's
good.
do it.
Yeah. So as always, Pauline's gonna kind of talk through the questions.
The Q&A.
Yes.
Yeah. I don't know how many questions she.
I don't know. I think I came up with some like now.
Okay. Cool. Okay. You created it?
Well, this has to do with planning. So I was thinking planning. Because you mentioned it earlier. When things go, not as planned.
Right.
What do you do on a wedding day? It's kind of hard, There's so much going on.
It never actually go as planned, does it? It's
Well,
very
yeah,
rare.
exactly. So,
Most of the time it doesn't.
so yeah, we can definitely talk about that. Like maybe instances where things definitely didn't go as planned. Like how did you handle it?
For example, a wedding day, you can only plan so much. So for me, it's important to have a lot of buffer when it comes to time, so that I have time to react, time to think of what else I can do in a situation. And if I don't have a lot of time, I just basically adapt to the situation. And
Do you add buffer to the timeline that you give to your client,
yes,
or is it your own buffer? Like,
if I'm involved with creating the timeline, I recommend to have a lot of buffer. But if that doesn't happen, then of course we're professionals, where we always just kind of adjust to the situation and do what we can.
yeah, I think for me, I just go. I think because I have all the list of things that I need to shoot, I just kind of adapt to it, and it's like I think my expectation is that it's never gonna go as planned. I think on the wedding day, it's just shuffling them around. So yeah, that way I'm not rushing the client and I'm not rushing anybody in the sense that like to get the shots that I want. So trying to adapt to their day as much as possible. Yeah.
I think because I shoot for a lot of studios and I've never met the couple ahead of time, that really prepares me because on the day, it's all a surprise
Okay.
things. Because normally I don't really get the timeline until the week before, and I don't really get to communicate with the clients ahead of time to make sure everything's we're all on the same page. So it really does happen on the day of. And obviously, as you know, in Vancouver, the weather changes so often, so rain can come really quickly. So I think I'm just used to having to deal with it whenever plans changed. Understanding that you have to be calm in the moment because they're going to be stressed out. Yeah. You can easily be frazzled, and
Right.
that then can impact the client and how they feel. So
Was there ever a situation where the wedding was planned outside and then you guys had to change inside?
not yet,
Okay.
because I think usually they're pretty prepared. Most venues, they have a plan B in case. And usually they actually make that decision that day. Okay, it's looking okay, so we're gonna have it outside, or they'll do a last minute switch to have it indoors.
I think when I say switching wedding from outside to inside, a lot of people jump straight to thinking about rain only, but it's not just rain. It's we switched because of the wind.
Yeah, that's the problem in Vegas.
So
wind.
okay, second question.
Okay, so this question is from our listener. How's the split between planning/consultation, the actual photo shoot, and editing? So I'm thinking her question is how we, in terms of ratio, what takes up the most time, maybe what takes up the least time. Because I think most people think that the actual photo shoot part is what takes up, because that's what they see, right?
Right.
If you're a client, they think, oh, it's just the 10 hours, the 12 hours. But what do you guys think takes up the most time for you guys?
Do you want to go first?
I think we already know editing takes up the most time, but I think I'm getting better at it. But in order for me would be the editing, probably the shoot, and then the planning and consultation, I would say.
I think there's a two part of that question. I think time or effort.
So maybe we should like make it just weddings.
Sure. Okay.
Just
Okay.
make it just weddings.
Yeah,
and
that's
then-
what I was thinking.
Okay.
That was my answer.
I think time-wise, I think now I spend the most time shooting. Editing's got a lot better.
Yeah.
Especially with the help of AI. So it definitely reduces the time a lot more. So if it's like, I don't know, 10-hour session, then I'll probably spend about 4 hours editing.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think definitely a lot less in terms of editing time goes. And the planning, I think, takes more time than editing now. So I'm kind of running through in my head, like in every situation and different time of the year, different time of the month, different time of the day, how the light is going to come into that room or how the light is going to hit in that venue, if it's an outdoor venue, if it's going to be strongly backlit. So I'm kind of running through that like probably multiple times. So that will take definitely more than 4 hours, 5 hours, even up to 10 hours sometimes. So I think that way I can plan with all the gears that I need, and bring like even if I need to rent a gear, then I'll probably like rent a gear ahead of time and do all that kind of stuff. So yeah, but I think that's why I say I think time and effort is different thing. Time wise, I think that those could be reduced because if I were to shoot at the same location over and over again, then those time would be definitely reduced. But in terms of the effort goes, I think effort wise is probably the one that will take up the most. Um, it will be about half an hour with the shoot and planning.
So if I would rank it, I think now what would take most of my time in an 8-hour wedding is the shooting. 8-hour wedding shooting. And then number 2 would be calling.
Calling.
Okay.
Okay.
Really?
Yeah, because I take a lot of photos.
Do you think that's because still like it's sort of like early in sort of like training your AI software?
No, not only that, because I'm very specific with composition and like I try out different things, right? And then it's hard to decide like because the AI would pick like several photos,
Right.
but if it's like different composition in a scene, it would pick one photo in each like composition. Just picking through that is hard for me because I don't know. I just decision making it's hard. Editing is not as bad as before because of AI. It just having the exposure and white balance correct is a big thing. Planning is not bad. A traditional wedding is pretty straightforward. I would do like several consultations in different times, 3 months before, 1 month before, and then a week before. Like I would just keep talking to them, and so if I would estimate the total amount that I would spend on a consultation, probably total would be maybe 2 hours total for consultation, spread apart. Research also takes time, like especially if I haven't shot there. I have to visit the venue at least once and take a look at the venue. And lately I've been getting more comfortable not checking the venue because I kind of like the challenge of like, okay, I get in there, what am I gonna do with the lighting? What am I gonna do? I just want to be ready.
And I guess the moral of this is like for clients, if they're listening, there's a lot more than just clicking a button.
Yes.
There's a lot more than that. You're paying, for the service and not just the day of that you physically see.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that go into it, aside from shooting the day of the wedding.
So this one might be a good question for you, Eugene.
Okay.
Do you have interns or assistants to help with the admin or editing side of things?
Yes, yes, and yes.
Me, no, no, and no.
My associate photographer is here. And then I have who is in charge of editing. So she kind of looked through all the color edits are correct. Once I kind of edit all the like Photoshop edits and everything like that, she will kind of go over it and see if they're all consistent in sort of her eyes. And then I have a virtual assistant, VA. So she's in charge of the sort of admins and all that kind of stuff. I do like to do the consulting myself, all the consultation with the clients. So that I haven't now sourced. Everything is on me.
This might be something we talk about in the AI episode, but
Okay.
do you think with AI technology becoming better, do you think these type of jobs would become obsolete, like editors, people who do culling?
I would say definitely the editing part of it, it will. I think it will get obsolete.
Yeah,
Eventually, yes, but
not yet.
but I think it's quite a while away. Like like people who are just doing the color editing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think definitely that can be matched. I think that's going to be more accurate with AI than the human eye because you don't have to worry about the
Yeah.
different screens and all the calibration, all that kind of stuff. Whereas the computer just knows by codes. So I think that will be more accurate on the AI side. But when it comes down to photoshopping things out and doing different things on the photos, I think that will take some time.
One thing that's not going to be phased out is like you as a photographer editing your photo, interpret lighting, like how you want the mood be changed depending on how you shape the light, how you mask things with with the light or with the masking and changing the lighting. I don't think you can replace that because it's up to your interpretation, right? Like as an artist and how you would edit a photo. But like even like skin retouching is like it can be done automatically now with some of the plugins in Photoshop and Lightroom. So back then, you'll hand that off to an editor to just like, do specific skin retouching and all that. But now you can even do batch edit with just skin retouching with a
Yeah.
plugin. It's getting better and better. Being an artist, incorporating that in your edits, I don't think you can replace that.
Yeah, I agree. Definitely not anytime soon. But I think about, those studios who have, say, like a team of editors. I feel like in that sense, if they have those tools, then they could then edit more
Yeah,
sessions, and then they could take in more weddings and like grow even bigger than maybe they could have, and even delivering the gallery sooner than 3 months or 6 months or whatever their timeline is. So maybe in that sense, they could even grow their businesses.
Yeah, I don't know if it's just me, but like although I trust the AI to edit my photos pretty well,
Yeah.
I don't have the trust level to just run it through the software and just hand it over to the
Right.
client. I think that will take some time in terms of the trust level to be at the very high end photographer, like who charges more than I don't know 15,000 for wedding and things like that.
Yeah.
Everything for them, like everything has to be perfect. For them, I think those AI editing will only help the first part, but they will still have to retouch every single thing. Like for example, like John mentioned about the skin retouching, but skin retouching is good for like general purposes, but for every specific purposes, it's nowhere near in terms of getting it done really good. So I think in that sense, like you were saying, like studio and places like that, they don't have to look through all the tedious sort of early stage. They can just run it through the AI, and then after that they can expedite the process in terms of perfecting it in their own way. So like right now I'm running through AI and then handing it off to my assistant, so she will kind of look over it. And that process is one, she's checking if there's any error. Second, she's also learning sort of like my sort of style in terms of like what I like out of the photos and what I don't want in the photos, so that when she does retouching, she doesn't have to check with me every single time. So eventually, that's what I want, like what you were saying about the studio thing.
Next question. What is the creative split between the photo taking and the editing?
Could you elaborate?
I'm assuming in terms of, how much creative you're in when you're taking the photo versus how much of it is in post. Say, for example, in a double exposure, obviously most of the creativity happens in the editing versus in the photo taking.
Does it though? Because you're applying it in the post process, but when you're taking the photos, you already have that creative
Maybe.
process. That's why you're taking that
Yes,
specific
but on
photo.
its own, those photos could still be.
That's true, but what I'm saying is like, when you like, oh, I'm taking this photo to use it in the double exposure.
Yes.
Then that creative,
Yeah, but sometimes it doesn't work in those
you're
cases.
trying to make it work in the post process kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
And then it doesn't work, so then in those cases, then creativity would happen more in the photo taking.
I don't know.
well, because to me, I use a lot of Sam Hertz Prism and Ring of Fire.
Yeah.
For me, I do a lot of things in camera, make it look good in camera and being creative in camera.
Yes. Yeah.
Editing wise, I don't know. I don't do anything special. I don't do anything special with editing. I don't do double exposures. Maybe the Brenizer technique, like I don't know if you've used that. Like,
Yeah, I do use that quite a lot. So I guess I'm not really following the question that well. So like for example, like Brenna is a technique.
Yes.
Yes, the creative can only happen when you put all the photos together in the editing process. But what I'm saying is a creative thought process happens when
I
you're
get
taking
what
the
you're-
photos.
Yeah.
So
They go hand in hand for sure.
yeah.
Yes.
So what I'm saying is like I wouldn't create something in the editing just because it would look better in the editing. So what I'm saying is like every photo that I'm taking in terms of composition, in terms of the lighting and everything happens while I'm taking the photos. I'm like when I'm taking the photos, oh, I'm gonna edit this in this way to look like this. There's probably not that many situations where I just take the photo and then in the later process, oh, if I do this, it will look better, kind of thing.
Right. I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
I guess it all comes down to your intention during the shoot. Like if you already have that intention of this is how it's gonna look like, I'm gonna edit it this way. Like with the Brenizer, you have to be intentional about that, right? You already know the shot. So in that case, like most of the thought comes into like when you're already there shooting.
How about you?
Well, now that you put it that way, I do think everyone do most of it during the photo taking. Because if you think about it that way, the editing part is just to enhance
Exactly.
the taking of it.
I think that's difference in definitions
Yeah.
between photographer and a professional retoucher.
True. Yes. I don't know how much John will like this next section, but it's about marketing.
Oh, okay.
So, how does social media impact your business?
Or how does it not
Not.
impact? Well, for me, because I'm very, very, very lazy with social media, I don't get a lot of clients with it. It could impact my business a lot more if I'm more consistent with posting and doing reels and all that. But it's just not me, not my personality. So yeah.
But I know a lot of successful people who are successful just from referrals. They don't even are very active on social media. So it can work. I think you just need to be putting more effort in your client experience.
Because right now, for me, most of my clients are all like from the hospital.
Right.
I think essentially what all the people want is referrals.
Yeah.
Because those are the type of people that you want. Those are the type of people who has probably the right amount of money to spend. You don't know whether the people who are contacting you from seeing your photos from social media is the right client for you or
Yeah,
not.
definitely.
I think the referral is probably the best way to do it, but I'm gonna put kind of a twist to the question again.
Okay.
I think because like social media has a lot of negative
Yes.
influence on it as well. Not in a sense that about the exposure, but also in a sense that people can compare with other photographers much easier. I think one of the things that I'm doing is that I'm trying to write a lot with the post, so that people are thinking, like if they are reading it, then then kind of we can be on the same page in terms of like why I took the shot and how I took the shot, or what the thought process when I was taking the shot, and things like that. When people who read those and who reach out to me, I think those are the kind of clients that I am looking for.
I guess for me, it doesn't really impact my business. I think the reason I do posts and stuff is just an extension of my creativity and just to challenge myself. Because as you know, I try to post once a week, but even then, I think that's my max. Because if I do too much, I'm not enjoying it anymore, and I don't want to get to that point where I start hating it.
Yeah.
And so the reason once a week works for me is because I still enjoy it.
I didn't know that was the thing,
What?
like once a week.
You didn't know that was my thing?
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Now you'll notice.
Do you know? Well, I know Joe mostly gets his by referral, but do you know what the percentage is like on referral versus Instagram versus SEO, or do you advertise anywhere else? I know you do somewhere, right?
No,
No? Okay.
I think I don't keep track, but I know I've gotten some kind of everywhere. People have said they found me on Instagram. People have said they found me on Google. I've gotten referred from people, so a mixture, I'd say.
Yeah, I get probably the most from Instagram. That's funny because I don't even have 2,000 followers, so I don't know how people find me and how people.
Yeah. That's why I'm surprised. Like, what do they search for me to show up? Because I feel like in Vancouver, there's like if you type in
All the
Vancouver-
keywords that you
Yes,
use,
yeah.
like every other photographer,
Exactly.
really easy.
So
Yeah.
I mean, I don't. Well, I don't know what I put now, but especially my website, I put like intimate, small intimate wedding and elopement. So I guess that differentiate myself. On the same line as social media, do you enjoy it? We kind of answered that, but has it helped you market or advertise?
I do not enjoy it.
I don't hate it, but I feel like it's a job, than
Definitely a job, yeah.
than fun aspect of it.
Because to me, it feels like a competition.
Maybe that's a mindset thing. Because if you have a different mindset as this is, I actually enjoy this, then maybe if you take that competition part of it out.
Because to me, it's a mindset shift. Because back then
Yeah.
I post because I'm proud of my work, but now it feels like it's a chore. Like, oh, I have to post because I have to get clients, or I
But
have.
so what happened? Like, why do
Yeah.
you think, are you not proud of your work anymore? Or are you just,
I'm proud of my work, but it's like I don't like the fact that I don't know. It's just irritating. I guess like okay, I have to. Like, I have to really post consistently, and like it's not very organic. Like, oh, I'm proud of this work, and I post it. Yeah, excited about this work, and I'll post it.
And I think there's too many of those, like, if you want to increase Instagram followers, do this and do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then like you kind of thinking in your back of your head like, I want to just post this one photo, but they said if I post
Exactly,
more than 3 photos as a carousel, there's more chance of getting exposed.
Yeah.
So then like you think, what
Yeah.
other posts that can I post with this?
yeah.
And I start overthinking it, and
And it becomes a chore.
yeah, and then now I have to post a reel. It's like, you know.
So I guess to answer that question, I sort of still enjoy it. The fact that I do post once a week, I still enjoy it. If I did more, I probably wouldn't. So,
Okay.
do you ever do a shoot and not put it on social media?
Yes.
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 Why?
So for me, I started becoming more intentional with what I want to show in Instagram. So apologize to my families out there that I shot.
And apologies to couples that you didn't post.
Well, I think that's the thing. I try to focus on couples now and weddings and all that. So like the family photos, I try to not post unless there's something really particular about it that I would want to post. But I try to narrow it down and make it simpler for my audience to like make sure that it's what I show. It's to show them that is what I do. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's the same. Like I don't want to show photos that's. I think it's kind of shaping the sort of like my future work.
Yeah.
Sort of like yeah. So I wanna.
Yeah.
Even though I do baby photos, I do family photos. You know, I mean, I love to do those, but at the same time, I think I enjoy a lot more doing couples out in the nature, and so that's why I'm trying to focus on posting more of. A lot of people don't really think that I'm a Vegas photographer anymore because I don't really have photos to post from Vegas.
Yeah, that's true.
San Francisco portfolio.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But yeah, it's all about being intentional now with Instagram. Like you can't just post my big photo of my kid. You know, I do a lot of stories now. I actually enjoy stories. That I enjoy. Just post stories every time, like wherever I am.
Have you ever had clients not want you to post their images on social media? Yes.
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 I mean, there's definitely going to be private clients.
Yeah.
Clients who
Yeah.
prefer not to have, their images out there.
Do you guys charge extra for that? Since you can't use
This
it.
is such a tricky
Yeah.
question. Because I want to respect, their
Privacy,
decision. Because
yeah.
not everyone wants, their photos out there.
Right.
So I don't. I should.
To me, it depends on like the stage of where I'm at. If I feel like I'm in the stage of portfolio building and I really want to, clients that I can use for social media and whatnot, then, I would probably charge extra for that. But now I think I'm okay with it, not to post certain clients if they request to, because I'm getting these events like workshops and portfolio building events that I can just use the content. So now I don't really mind.
I do charge extra for it. Um, I think it's one of those things. I don't intend to charge extra, but I tell them I charge extra. What I mean by that is that I I try to price myself out of it, so that I don't have to do that shoot. There's not. I'm not obviously. I'm not working for that exposure only, but at the same time, when there is less exposure of it, um, there's only thing that I could be kind of proud of is that just that I've done a good work kind of thing.
Yeah.
Because when those people are private people, then they're not sharing their gallery with
Yeah.
guests either.
Yeah.
So that doesn't really translate into like other
Right.
album sales or other print sales and all that kind of stuff either. So um, I'm spending the same amount of time, and I think we all have built the packages with a mind of advertising those material as well. So what that means is that advertising fee is already included in the packages. If couples were to like tell me after the shoot saying like, oh, can you
Yeah,
actually
yeah.
not like they probably read it in the contract, and I don't know why they bring it up at that time. But obviously, I don't like that conversation, but at the same time, I do respect them. So I wouldn't say
After the fact. Yeah.
you signed this contract, so you have to follow it. So I'm gonna post you anyway. That's never good in both
Business, yeah.
business and as the vibe goes. So yeah, I don't. In that case, okay, I'll just say okay.
Just to be a devil's advocate here, what if they're like, okay, super private clients, but they pay good, and then they actually print their photos, and then you actually get more referrals, clients that are also very private referrals, so nobody actually gets to see it, but it's like referral based now. Would you be okay with that? But you get like a lot of work out of it, or would you rather
I
not
think I
take
think
that?
I always work for fun,
Okay.
so no. I wouldn't dare to kind of try something new or try some new kind of technique to, um, but yeah.
I feel like if I have other clients still that I'm allowed to post, then maybe.
Yeah, I think I'm only good if I can post like without their faces. I'll just do shots where in walking away, and then just yeah, walking away, just the back of their heads, and then yeah, I think I can live with that. If I can get more referrals, clients like that, like I don't have to, just private clients. I think I'm okay with that as long as I'm still getting other clients.
Cool.
Yeah.
Are we done?
Did we go through all the questions, or did you cut it there?
There were some I didn't ask, but no, yeah, most of them.
Well, all the listeners probably, if you've been sitting with us for this entire thing, we actually don't know how long we've been recording. We'll only find out once we start editing.
Or how well that went.
Yeah, I hope everything is okay.
I think the whole entire light was changing around constantly, so I don't know how good of the quality of the video and the everything was, but yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed our very first in-person
Yeah.
podcast,
It's
right?
different.
Yeah,
It's not live, but I guess yeah.
right. Yeah, it's kind of nice not wearing headphones.
Yeah, definitely.
It really feels like a chat rather
Yeah,
than
then like a Zoom call.
yeah, yeah.
It
So,
was fun. It was fun.
but yeah, it was lovely to say hi to everyone, like all together, all three of us together. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I think that should be a pretty good place to end. All right, I hope you guys have a good week. See you next week. Bye. We can actually wave this time.
Every time, like wherever I am.
I realized I was sinking.
Oh,
I was slowly.
you just got Pauline too. Oh my gosh.
Slowly, it happens for you guys as well. But like, let's say I shot there's a shot that I shot a couple with sky in the background. So I shot it a little bit low angle. So I have them and then the sky in the background. So there's blue in the photos. Edit it out. So.
Almost died. Okay.
Well, we got that on camera. So.
Behind the scenes, not too bad. If I would,
Scare me.
if
Whoa.
Hey cat, he's very
We have a
friendly.
guest. We have a special guest.
Very friendly cat. Didn't
have a
even
special guest.
react. No reaction whatsoever. Anyway, so if I would estimate the total amount,
Special guest it is. Scared me.
yeah.